We live in a world where humans are safer than ever. We're out of the food chain. We have technology that helps us live longer. No plagues. We should all rejoice on what a great time it is to be alive. But what about those of us who still fall victim to violent crime? The police walk right past obvious-looking criminals because they claim to not have probable cause. The cops are told, as we're told, not to judge people. Judge people by their looks? Sure. What if you have no other information to go on? What if it's a safety issue? It's popular to say no, don't be judgmental. You can't judge a guy that looks like a criminal because what if he's the one in a million guy who's turned his life around? What if you're just a normal guy like me and you're walking down a lonely street and you notice there's a lady walking in front of you? Should she judge me? I'm just some guy walking behind her. I'm not going to mug her. Why be judgmental? Why judge me? Now, if our ancestors thought that way, humans would have gone extinct the way of the dodo bird. We would have smiled at the snakes in the grass and tried to pet it because it's unfair to assume the snake is dangerous. It's racist to assume the snake is poisonous just because he's a snake, right? And it's not just a race thing. None of us is afraid when we get approached by a Mexican landscaper or a businessman. But if we get approached by a Mexican who looks like a gangbanger, with a lowrider, tattoos on his face, and a hoodie, we do worry. I would. Does that make me judgmental? Sure. It means I use my best judgment. Let me tell you a little story. Not too far back, a mother was taking her baby for a little stroll. She was approached by two young African-American men. They both looked like street thugs, but she didn't want to run away. She didn't want to scream for help. She didn't want to seem like a racist who was judging people based on their appearance. One of those guys mugged her. The other one shot her baby in the face. He killed her 1-year-old baby by gunshot in between the eyes. Bam! True story. And the killer was spared the death penalty. Even though he killed a baby, he was only sentenced to life. A life of food and shelter by the state prison system. I guess it would have been racist of us as a society to give the death penalty to a young black man when all he did was kill a blonde, white, male baby. Oh, and by the way, there were no protesters in the streets calling for justice. Not for this white, privileged male baby. No, sir. And what about the poor people of color who don't turn to crime? The ones who get up and go to work and make an honest living. Does the government help them? No. They just hit them for taxes. But for thieves, rapists, and murderers, we give them 3 meals a day in an air-conditioned cell with health care and dental care so we can all feel good about ourselves for being so civilized and non-judgmental. We would save more innocent lives by publicly hanging murderers. As a matter of fact, we should sell tickets, as opposed to jailing them. Execution would be a real deterrent. Some say we don't have the right to take a life. But by that logic, maybe we should risk more innocent lives. Put more babies at risk so that society can feel righteous about itself. Or should we do the reverse? Should we do the reverse and take matters into our own hands? An eye for an eye isn't just revenge. It helps prevent future crimes. What if there was a champion for the innocent? Someone who took all the risk to keep us safe. Someone to deliver the kiss of death to the scumbags out there. Someone who can shoulder all of the guilt and make the hard decisions so that we don't have to. Could such a person exist? If he could, would you want him? Food for thought. That's all for tonight, folks.